And here we are. I am Tiffany.
And I am Andrea.
And we are relatively unstable. We are also relatively inconsistent, but we do love to do this and be here with you and be here with each other. So we're just gonna keep on trying. It's like a, those people that just get married over and over again and just do it till they get it right. So that's what we're gonna do.
We're trying to get it right.
We're gonna do it till we get it right. And hopefully you'll thug it out with us. Don't give up. Keep hope alive and all that. Happy New Year. We seem to do really good around the new year, and then we kind of taper off. So, I don't do resolutions, but maybe our goal will be to be consistent. But you are talking to a Pisces and a Leo, and you never know what you're going to get.
Yeah, I mean, historically, consistency has not been my strong suit in any facet of my life. So we'll make it a goal. We'll make it a goal. We'll try to make it a goal.
We will. We promise. And I also don't keep promises. So there's that. But to people I love, I do. So I will give it my best. And speaking of best, today we thought there've been we just wrapped up the end of the year. There've been a whole lot of shows and stuff. A lot of people been binge watching, while they were on vacation, and we are no exception. And of course, we're Black. Surprise, we are Black. So like the rest of our communities, we could not wait to see the best man, what is it?
The final chapters?
Final chapters, the best man final chapters. And while we are no one to critique, we are going to give we are going to have a conversation about it and see what we liked, what we didn't. Was it worth it? What's up with it? And, I think to just start, I will say that for sure, if nothing else, the nostalgia and closure that we as people say we don't get, it did its job fairly well. What say you, ma'am?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's been a long time since The First Best Man, and even a long time between The Best Man Holiday too, which I've only watched once. I've seen The Best Man I feel like a million times, but
Best Man Holiday is hard to digest.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough, especially if you watch it around the holidays and you've lost someone around the holidays. Like it's not super feel goodish all the way through. So
and it's pretty bad.
Yeah. You know what? But when I watched The Best Man Holiday, I remember liking it.
Mm-hmm.
And I also should put this disclaimer out. I don't really have a high, like, a movie doesn't have to do a lot for me to think that it's good or okay. Like,
right, okay.
So like I'm not Robert Ebert out here.
Yeah.
So I just, if it entertains me, then I'll say it's good. But
the same. I like Soul Plane.
See, I've never seen that.
Shit is funny. Shit is quite hilarious. So expectations low.
Very low, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so as far as like the continuation of it, yes, that was a good kind of wrap up. Like, yeah, now we know where they are in their lives, like where Harper and Robin are. We obviously know that Mia has passed away. So what Lance will do and how he will live his life after that, that was good to see. I'm trying to like give an overview without really getting into the things that I didn't like, but it was good to
we have to. I mean, you're talking to me, so if you don't want to, I sure will.
We're getting into Merch and Candace, which will be my first topic of disdain, because why the fuck was her hair so bad? Like,
anybody Somebody please tell me
I
why
was like,
she had on those Tyler Perry wigs. She is above that.
I mean, just so many levels of just like, I was like,
I feel like we're gonna get added that, and somebody's gonna be like, but that was her hair, and then we're gonna feel stupid, but it couldn't possibly be.
no.
Even if it was, um, she deserved better. That was back. So one thing I remember about The Best Man that I like you have watched it many times is that clearly they had to do their own hair and makeup in the first Best Man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, clearly there wasn't enough glam squad to go around, and they had to probably share. Did fine, but that was apparent. It felt like she had to do her own hair and makeup, except we know that she's got a few dollars and she would have done a better job. So I don't believe that. I believe that there was some reasoning for that I just will never understand.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, maybe, and even it even didn't make sense for her character, because then you could even say like, oh, well, maybe her character, was a little on the homely side, maybe,
Mm-hmm.
you can kind of like, but her character wasn't homely. Her character was very educated, just she
Mm-hmm.
was exploring a different realm of education or whatever, but it wasn't like she was, and I mean, no diss to like preschool or kindergarten teachers, but like it wasn't like she was like, this is my hair because I sit on the floor and play with crayons with kids.
Right.
I,
So
so like,
my guess is they were trying to portray her as having dramatically changed her life. So when she was introduced to us, she was fly, she was the stripper, super cute, sexy, and they were trying to convey that she's, turned her life around, or, maybe that's the only possible excuse, and that whoever decided to do that didn't do it well. And she was like, I'm just gonna collect my money. And
well, and so let's assume that is the reason. Then I have even more of a problem with that, because it's fine for you to be a stripper and to be a stripper for however long you want to be a stripper. Like,
mm-hmm.
fine. If you want to do that until you're 45, great.
Mm-hmm. Jennifer
But
Lopez did it at 50 on camera.
yeah, but like the opposite spectrum of a stripper is not necessarily a homely
Correct.
looking woman who has like a Justin Bieber haircut at first, and then this weird kind of, I just got out the shower, but it's also very dry look.
Tiffany
Like,
on any given day.
I mean,
You know.
and I think that, yeah, I think that that was a huge disservice. Like, it didn't have to be Shelby level of hair and makeup
No.
and wardrobe, or even Nia Long. It didn't have to be that, but it definitely could have been like something cute and trendy and stylish, but felt appropriate for someone
It
that's
could have been done.
too
It could have been
creatively.
brushed.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
At the very least.
there's that. Okay. We've done that. I think we all agree on that.
Yeah, it was trash.
Okay. Do we continue on down this path, or do we pivot back and forth?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So I will say that that was probably my biggest gripe, other than I discovered that I really don't care for Robin. However, I don't disagree with Robin. I support Robin. Like, I didn't care for and I don't know if it's Robin or I don't know if it's Sanaa Lathan. I don't know which one I didn't, I couldn't really discern what it was I wasn't feeling about this character or this person, but I was in total support of her. Not total, there were a couple things she could have done different, but I was very supportive of her. I thought that they did a good job with the Lance LJ storyline. I mean, good job. I don't know if it's that they did a great job, but I appreciated that they went there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they did it in a way that was fair. I don't know. I mean, I am not part of the LGBTQIA community, but I thought it seemed like a fair scenario.
Yeah, so if I could just go back to Robin and Harper.
Mm-hmm.
So, first of all, rewatching The Best Man, Harper is an asshole. I mean,
yeah,
it's pretty, standard, standard opinion.
Total fuck boy.
But I don't think that when I watched it the first time I realized it, and maybe even not the second or third time, but when I recently watched it like early December, I was like, wow, like the whole opening car scene where Robin is taking him to the airport and she's like, I love you, and he's like, yeah, whatever, or whatever he says.
Whatever, man.
Yeah, like that's a lot. Even though like I understood their dynamic and like why Robin was so upset. But I definitely think that we're coming to arbitration, and that's when I'm going to tell you that I'm actually taking your child to Africa. I thought that was
bizarre.
It was bizarre, and I thought that it was very wrong.
I agree.
Like, okay, we know that you've been inspired by, going to Jamaica and having these experiences with people, and you want to get back to your roots. Definitely on board with that. But why spring it on him at that moment?
Agree. She hadn't mentioned it at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think had she mentioned it and brought it up in a civil way, she would have had a better result. Also, just if I could jump in on that part, I thought that was maybe a hole in the storyline, because like she had this experience, she's connecting on the island and she's like, oh, I'm home, and then she's in Ghana. I'm like, why didn't they send her back to the island? It would have made more sense, right, for a couple of reasons. One, because that's where she felt at home. Two, because the island is owned by Quentin, so there's still a connection to the child's father, so that storyline wise, I could have bought a little bit easier.
But yeah, I definitely understand like feeling like you're in somebody's shadow and not really ever getting a chance to flush out your dreams like you want to, and you're always making concessions, and you're always like, oh yeah, okay, well, we're not doing this because your job is here, because your livelihood is here. But on the other hand, Harper is a writer, I think, and yeah, Robin went to Ghana, and I do believe that Ghana has electricity and the internet, so
they're quite developed.
So I understand that that's a huge move, but maybe it would have been a move that Harper could have done, at least to try.
He could have, I would say, I am not an advocate of I mean, we're adults, shit happens, we make decisions, we have children, and then, we learn, we live and learn like who we are. And, sometimes we don't learn who we are or what we want until after we have children. And then the children are in the middle of our, decision making. However, I half agree with you in that, yeah, I think he could have at least done like, every couple months, like a month stay, or live there 6 months out of the year or something, so that he's not disrupting Mia, the daughter Mia's life or whatever. If he were, in support of that, which he ended up coming around or whatever, there could have been some different ways to work that out, but also they didn't really spend a lot of time telling us how they were gonna work that out. I don't know. I do think, it could have been a better conversation between them. I mean, I also do think, I will say this too, I think they could have stretched in 2 more episodes, because I think at the end they just kind of tried to like get it over with.
Yeah, I feel like this could have been like, the whole series could have been like multiple seasons, because there's still, even though this was supposed to have been like the wrap up, and I do believe that it wrapped things up fairly nicely, but like there's definitely more storylines that could have been explored in at least one more season. I think so the Ghana, that whole thing that explored. Maybe Jordan goes, because speaking of children, so that the line when Jordan says, and I'm gonna paraphrase, but basically when she finds out that she's not pregnant, and she kind of has this emotional reaction to not being pregnant, and she's talking about how like, oh, I wish, I've had control over so many things in my life, and I just wanted something that was beyond my control, that I could just deal with and handle, enjoy, without like planning it to the, nth degree. So that resonated for me, obviously, because I am sans children and also old. So it was kind of a thing like, oh.
Yeah, okay.
But it was kind of a thing like, yeah, like I understand that thought process of like, yeah, Jordan didn't necessarily, nothing led us to believe that Jordan would ever want children or would even be interested in that. But the idea that, oops, this happened, and now, I can, instead of like not worrying about it, but instead of like not having it happen, now I can just enjoy it, and I don't have to like feel in my head about it. Like I was like, yeah, I definitely resonate with that. But that could be another couple episodes about, her IVF journey, or her surrogate journey, or, maybe that moment really solidified that she does want to be a mom, and not necessarily by accident. So that could
have also helped redeem Harper, because he could have been supportive of her throughout that. I mean,
and they also alluded to, in the one of the very first scenes, he said soulmate when he was speaking, and then so like that could have, like how they ultimately get back together, like that could be a couple episodes.
So let me touch on that. So I'm gonna say this. I feel like this might be extremely unpopular opinion. But I have been team Quentin Shelby since the beginning. I love that train wreck so much. I mean, from the beginning. And I felt like because we knew it was we knew that Quentin's wedding was a big storyline, and we knew that it wasn't Shelby, but I felt like from the beginning, okay, this is going to be about Quentin and Shelby.
Mm-hmm.
Because if there are two people in this crew, this cast, that have the chemistry that I'm looking for, it's those two.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, and they've had it the duration of the franchise. And also the whole situation with the daughter, I was rooting for that to happen in the second movie.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, something in me said, that's his daughter.
So that was a very odd thing to me. And I guess I don't really remember them in the second movie to remember like the continuation of that story. But the whole idea, you know, I mean, it's a standard show movie thing to like
Yeah.
break up a wedding and, you know,
Yeah.
it doesn't end up being who you marry and all of that. Cool. Because, right, like that chaos works for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
But like for Quentin to be I guess for that piece of information to come out kind of in a, oh, by the way type
Right.
way.
Now, I didn't say yes. Now, I don't agree with that part, but I agree, you know, but yeah. Awkward timing.
And this was like minutes after you ran to the airport to get her,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're not marrying Nicole Ari Parker, which, sidebar, looks, I mean, good grief, what is she eating or not eating?
She's kind of perfection. And I'm starting to believe like her niche is like the serial ensemble add-on. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's what that's what she's kind of starting to do.
Mm-hmm.
In a great way. Like she is a value add. Yes. I will be very honest and say I wasn't a super fan of hers like way back in the day. I'm obsessed with her.
Mm-hmm.
Her timing is great. She's beautiful.
And and all of the characters that she plays, she's found a way to walk this very like nice, nasty, line that is, I mean, it's hard to make it endearing and to make it come off endearing, but still know that she getting in your ass.
Yeah. No.
Oh, I love that.
I'm a fan. I'm a fan.
So yeah, so like you run to the airport, you don't marry Nicole Ari Parker, you come back, Shelby is the one, yes, 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 and then in 5 minutes, you're like, so.
And you're the daddy.
Uncle Quentin is Daddy Quentin. Like, what?
Right. Yeah. And they never said how the daughter took it. Like, did the daughter know already?
That could be another.
Yeah, a whole other thing, right?
Yeah.
Which they tried to touch on, but they didn't really. It didn't stick. But yeah, I mean, when I tell, because it's all ridiculous. All of it is ridiculous. In the ridiculousness of it, I fucking love Quentin and Shelby. Like, the two of them together as actors in these characters, the chemistry is spot on. It's my kind of situation. Now, nobody wants mass chaos in their real life, but on screen,
yes,
it's
yeah.
I mean, Candace and Harper are a snooze fest. I mean, not Candace and Harper, Robin and Harper are a snooze fest. Candace and Merch worked because of Candace. And she really didn't have, in my opinion, they could have just done so much more with her.
Yeah.
And they could have, I don't know, it felt rushed overall. I feel like we're leaving somebody out. Who are we leaving out?
Lance.
Oh, right. Lance.
I mean, am I going to say that am upset with the gratuitous nudity from Lance. No, I'm not. I'm not gonna say that.
I don't even know why you brought that up, because
I
I thought that was a fair amount of
yeah,
exposure.
I enjoyed it, but it also was kind of like, actually what I was gonna say, I'm gonna take it back before I even say it, because I was gonna say like it just was no uh no evolution from his character from before, and it's been 20 years now, and it's
Right.
like you're still just about banging chicks
Yeah.
at 45 years old, like
Until
okay, cool.
a woman saves you.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, okay, but
But isn't that realistic?
it is realistic, and it also could have been just like a grief response,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. I mean,
you know.
and a realistic one, but the storyline itself made sense, the execution of the storyline, and I feel like that's a running theme through this whole movie or this whole series, is the
Mhm.
storyline makes sense, the execution does not. So like Shelby and Quentin, the storyline makes sense, the full out execution does not. Murch and Candace, the storyline makes sense, execution does not. Particularly because one thing I'll say that I appreciate about the movie, that they tried it. They didn't do a great job of it, but that they even tried, I'll give credit for. And that is kind of like the mental health of the Black man
Mhm.
and Black men supporting each other. And
Mhm.
I appreciated that, at one point in a, soft way, like in a
Right.
loving, really expressive, loving way, in that one scene. But and they did that in the second movie too, between Quentin and Harper.
Mhm.
And I also love the, going back to Quentin, I love that they let Quentin be that. He was straight, he was a menace to society. At the same time, he was this highly emotional
Yes.
and, unapologetically emotional person.
Mhm.
And
I mean, because hands down, and I'm trying to remember if he had any quotables. I guess he doesn't if I don't remember him. But like, I fell in love with Quentin's character from the jump of the first one. Like, he was the
beginning from
best.
the guitar,
Yes, he was the best character in that movie by far.
he's the star of the franchise to me.
I mean, it's about to be a Oasis in here. Like,
Mm-hmm.
what? I was like, that just blew my mind when I heard that the first time. So,
Right.
like, he had, and I really, yeah, I really like the chaos that he brings and that he brought.
And then
So,
he fixes it, like, um, and with Lance, I feel like they actually tried to do that with him in a different way, but for me it was too much. It was realistic but too much. What was realistic about it was that, again, we're Black, and what we often lean on is religion to right our wrongs, or religion to you know kind of avoid being accountable or address, you know what we think of as poor behavior,
mhm,
you know, which really I would venture to say that 80% of the time is not even really poor behavior. It is, because who's to say what is poor behavior? I mean, like, cannibalism, that's bad, or, that that's just bad. But but other than that, outside of like murder,
mhm.
what or theft, what is bad behavior? And he was reacting to conditioning that was probably put on him by
Mhm.
his parents, his family. And then it turned out he did the same thing to his son.
Right.
So,
Which is, I mean,
highly realistic.
highly realistic, highly realistic. And, I guess, I mean, it also talks about, I
Or
mean,
excuse me, his child, because we are addressing a non-binary person.
yes. And it also kind of speaks to, yeah, just like how many Black folks do, really struggle with what they think they should be doing as a person of faith, and what they actually do in their life when they're making their own choices and not really thinking about faith. So yeah, I thought that was realistic, but yeah.
Well, all in all, I will say that I am down for Black people getting their money,
Mm-hmm.
in a productive way and in a way that highlights us, so in ways that, depicted by us. So overall, I am satisfied.
Yeah.
I am satisfied. I liked the relationship that they kind of created between Jordan and Shelby this time.
Mm-hmm.
I did see somebody, there was like two things that I saw that stood out to me, two memes that stood out that I felt needed addressing. One was somebody said that they were appalled by that the guy who played Demetrius was the most attractive Black actor that they could get for Nia Long, and I 130,000% agree. What the
Yes.
fuck was that?
Yeah. I mean, I know they would have never done this, but they could have brought Lorenz Tate back.
I thought the same thing.
I mean,
I thought the
because,
same
I mean,
thing.
and they wouldn't, because then everybody would, make the Love Jones,
But if you saw the
comparisons.
outtakes, she even called the dude Darius.
But just in general, like Lorenz Tate and Nia Long look good together. Like,
Right, but that would
regardless
have been,
of,
is that an Easter egg?
oh,
Is that like, that would have been just a good like
yeah,
tie-in,
yeah, yeah.
I don't know if that is or
100%.
not. Like somebody in the film industry would have to say if I'm using that term properly, but that would have been an excellent tie-in for those two actors. And I promise you that if you go to 12 Oaks right now, you could find somebody else that could have played opposite her
So,
better than that guy. What was that?
yeah,
That was a total disappointment.
yeah,
Total disappointment.
yeah, it was.
I'm like, they could have kept her on with the island jump off,
Yeah, because like, why wasn't, like, I guess I'm trying to remember what happened with that. He just wasn't, I don't,
I
yeah.
don't remember, but I mean, they cut him so quick,
Mm-hmm.
and he had a weird head though, but still, he was total upgrade
Mm-hmm.
from whatever the hell that was. I'm like, why is she even arguing with him? Yeah.
Right.
Like,
Right. Like,
that doesn't even deserve closure. The other thing was that somebody said, because this is something we haven't talked about, somebody said Robin should have basically Robin should have chosen violence with Jordan. And I don't think so. First of all, that's just not who I am, but Robin's issue was with her husband, not Jordan. And Robin was already not engaged. She was already kind of out of the marriage.
yeah, yeah. And I mean, Robin made her choice. She made her choice back in the first movie to, like, she already knew that Harper, regardless of what he's saying, that his actions show that he had some deep unresolved feelings for Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
Was very known. Robin knew that they almost slept together. She read the book, so she knew like how deep the shit went.
Mm-hmm.
And she also knew how incredibly selfish and rude
Rude.
Harper is to propose after all that shit with no ring
At his boy's wedding.
The wedding reception of a wedding. You almost had a big hand in it not happening.
Sidebar.
All of those
do
things.
That shit. People don't do that.
Don't do that.
That is so reckless and rude. And
It's
that is
reckless.
for 19-year-olds who get married in barns.
With mason jars.
You said what?
With mason jars.
With mason jars, I actually did a very nice thing for my sister's wedding, but yes, I get it. That shit is just really fucked up for people to do.
So she already knew what she was getting into, and that's not to say that Harper and Jordan's actions were appropriate.
Correct.
That is to say that I can't imagine in the storyline between the first Best Man Holiday and this one that there were no ups and downs of that relationship in which Harper reached back out to Jordan for something, and like that. Jordan is a problem if Robin wants to see it that way, and has been a problem their entire marriage. So like,
and addressing Jordan is not going to solve the problem. Right. It's not going to say. And at one point, didn't she ask Harper not to see her, or didn't she ask them to not talk to each other early in one of the first two movies or something? I might be remembering that wrong. I should have gone back and watched, but you're absolutely right. That situation was something. What she should have done is when he did that stupid shit and proposed, what she should have done was, sidebar, I think you need to figure out the stuff with Jordan. She should have done what Jordan did in the end. She should have done back then.
Yes.
You know. Yes. And actually my sister made a comment like, oh, I'm glad Jordan kind of grew up at the end and, you know, kind of stopped pursuing him or holding out hope. I don't 100% agree with that, because for as cynical of a person as I am, I feel like, you know, especially when we're talking about the theatrics of it all, I love the underdog relationship, you know, coming to fruition and people really not, you know, kind of people choosing themselves, you know, and what works for them, which is, I think, why I love Quentin and Shelby so much, because they both, you know, like, we know that her girls would all talk shit about him and his boys would all talk shit about her. She was with his best friend, you know, for a period of time, but they were mature enough in their immaturity to know that that doesn't matter, because the connection really is between us. And I think that if more people kind of live like that, and I mean, our stuff is so complicated in real life that that's a hard thing to say, oh, we can all do that. We can't all do that. But on TV, I want it to end like that. On the screen, that's what I want to see. So again, I think Robin's problem was within herself and with her husband. She should not have married him in the first place. Yep. She should not have even gone to that wedding in the first movie. Nope. And then the last thing I think we can, I didn't tell you that I just thought of this, but you know how, you know me, you know, I'm all into astrology. And I thought about, what are these people's signs?
I am going to share a Facebook post with you because somebody actually did that.
No way.
I won't say her name, but I'm pretty sure that you know her or have at least seen her stuff shared. And
Am I connected to her?
I think so. It's a close enough circle person
Okay. Okay.
that you may have seen her stuff shared, but
Okay.
but yeah, but she's like, she does like readings and stuff like that. So like she did a whole
Oh,
Facebook
I
post.
know I think I know who this person is,
Yeah.
but somehow I didn't
So
see that. Okay.
so she yeah, she did like who the characters are and like what they,
Oh,
what
interesting. I want to see if she picked who I picked for what reason.
let me see.
So I don't, but now I feel like you're biased. Like you might be biased.
Who, me?
Yeah.
No.
Did you read it? Okay, so while you're looking, I want you to tell me. I have mine written down so you can, so I can't change my mind.
Okay.
Okay, Lance.
Hold on, let me get to the post. Here we go. Okay. Okay. So who do you say, or what do you say Lance is?
Virgo.
So I don't know. I don't know the rules on this, like if we can say her name, but whatever. But this person has Lance as a Taurus.
He's
And
not lazy enough to be a Taurus.
so she has traditional alpha male, hedonistic, loves legacy.
Oh, well, that's so fair. That's
Mhm.
so fair. But I see him as a Virgo because he's so chauvinistic. And Virgo men tend to be quite traditional
Mm-hmm.
in their thinking.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be about him.
Mm-hmm.
He is kind, but a jerk.
Yes.
He's a family man. Like he's all about his kids.
Mm-hmm.
He wants a family. Like Taurus they don't have to have that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and he is also kind of, it has to be his way. And Taurus men are like that.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not their way, and they're just kind of weird, and he is, and this isn't all bad in a bad way. It's just he's just kind of weird. Like if you were dating him, you'd be like, it's something weird about this dude.
Yeah.
It's something real weird, and he's real judgmental.
Yeah.
Taurus men aren't as judgmental as Virgo men, so that's why I have him as a Virgo.
Okay. Who do you have for Quentin?
Pisces man.
So, she has him as an Aries.
No, he's too freaking emotional.
Mm-hmm.
He's too creative.
So she has brash, playboy, doting lover and father once committed, and loves passion.
Fair, but he's lives for creativity. He's all over the place. He's got, he's expressive. He is so sexual. He is fun and funny and accepting. Aries men are, they have a big circle. They are those people that they're really social and have a lot of people around them. But at the same time, there is a major barrier with them.
Mm-hmm.
Quentin is a Pisces. Quentin is a Pisces. He just kind of moves and at his own, wherever the water takes him.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
he has an addictive personality.
Mm-hmm.
He likes drugs and alcohol.
Right.
He's a
Okay.
Pisces.
So what do you have for Shelby?
Leo.
Okay. Well, you guys got that one right.
She's a Leo.
Mm-hmm. Dramatic, performer, extra as fuck, loves adoration.
Yep.
I
Beautiful hair.
exception to this. because I am not a performer.
But you're a creative, so
Yeah.
it comes out in a different way. I struggled with her between that and Sagittarius, but I 100% say she is a Leo.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because she's also, in her arrogance and in her chaos and in her unbearableness, if that's a word, she's quite likable. And
Mm-hmm.
she's not for everybody, but the people that the people that can tolerate her are gonna have a lot of fun in their life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Candace. Who do you have for Candace? Or what do you
Libra.
have for Candace? Okay. This says Pisces.
Ugh, no, I mean, I can see it because she is taking so long to find herself, but I think she's a Libra.
Mm-hmm. So she says healer, holistic, plant drugs, loves creation.
Also fair, but she also is a peacekeeper. She is a little bit of a wild one. She's got kind of like, that balance, which Pisces, swim in one direction and the other. Like my Instagram profile says wild. I do think of myself as there's a part of me that's kind of off kilter, but I think she is definitely like the peacekeeper. She does not lose it, or I should say she loses it easier than a Pisces would. It takes us a long time to build up. When we do, it's a problem. A Libra can be
Balanced.
a Libra can be calm and likable and sweet, and everyone gravitates toward them 1 minute, but the next minute they're swinging a baseball bat.
Mm-hmm.
She's a Libra.
Okay.
And also, a Pisces could not deal with merch.
So, what do you have for merch?
Cancer.
All right, you guys agree. Sensitive, passive aggressive, family oriented, loves belonging.
And holds in all his emotions until he loses his shit, and
Mm-hmm.
then has this internal crisis.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He is a Cancer.
Oh, what did they say for? Okay, what do you have for Jordan?
Aries.
Okay, she is Virgo. Controlling, methodical, driven, love structure.
Aries are all those things too, but she also has a big circle. She
Mm-hmm.
also is career driven. I do not see Virgo as being as career oriented as she is.
Hmm.
And she also is she likes a little shine. She's shiny.
Mm-hmm.
Aries are shiny.
Okay, and the last one, I think, Robin.
Aquarius.
Aquarius. So I think I'm just gonna say her name because we're reading her content. So AJ Williams, shout out to AJ Williams. We have used
No,
this.
I don't know. I thought it was somebody else.
Yeah, so AJ Williams hosts events and does like readings and all that kind of stuff and is really into
I gotta look this person up.
sun, moons, and risings and retrogrades, and she's very in tune with that stuff. And so she made some social content based on what she thinks the best made characters are, and that's what we've been reading from to compare.
Okay, well we'll tag her too.
Yeah, with our resident, relatively unstable, astrological genius queen.
We'll tag her. We'll tag her. Yeah, I think so what did she say? Who did we say Robin? So what did she say Robin is?
Robin, she has Sagittarius.
No. I think Ciamora, is that how you say her name? I think she was a Sagittarius.
Yeah, I don't think she has her here.
No, I mean she's not a character.
Yeah, she's not a main character. So she has adventurer, activist, optimistic, loves exploration.
So I don't think of her. She did not come off as an adventurer to me. she came off as wishy-washy. No, I'm going to stand by Aquarius, and this is why. Because I was about to give it to her for the activist part, but not one Sagittarius I know is really, they're so, and I say this lovingly because I fucking love Sagittarius people. I love them. They are some of my favorite people to be around. And I will say say the same thing about Aquarius. But as far as taking a stand for something, they don't. That's what is very frustrating about both. It's amazing to me that they are some of my closest friends because it is super frustrating to me. You can't get these people to take a position on shit. And they constantly talk about how wishy-washy Robin is and how she starts stuff and can't finish it. The one thing a Sagittarius is going to do is finish something.
Mm-hmm.
They are doers. They are taskmasters. They get stuff done. If you are a Pisces, you need a Sagittarius on your team and in your circle because they're the ones that are going to make sure that the group gets together. They're going to make sure that, you know, the school project is done. And I will say Aquarius too, to some degree, not like a Sagittarius because they are lazier and they also care more about what people think about them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that Robin, one, cares what people think about her. Did I say cares what people think about her? Yes. Mm-hmm. And she also is, you know, just kind of flaky. Mm-hmm. Aquarians are flaky as fuck. Mm-hmm. So they're real bendy, you know. So mm-hmm. I say she's an Aquarius. But we didn't talk about Harper.
Yeah. So what do you have for Harper?
Libra.
She is Capricorn.
Really?
Achievement driven, self-preservation, emotional avoidance, loves goals.
I agree up to loves goals. And this is why I chose Libra for Harper. I chose Libra for Harper because I did choose Libra for Candace too, but there's a gender difference. And Libra men, sidebar, Libra is a sign in the zodiac I have never dated, so I have no bias. Never dated one Libra person. So Libra exactly. See, Libra men are difficult people. They care about outward appearance more than anything else. And Harper was all about keeping mm-hmm. appearance. Mm-hmm. And they're very selfish. Mm-hmm. They want the apex, they want the goal, but they want it the easy way. Mm-hmm. They're more creative. Capricorn people are not what I consider creative people. They are more practical people. Harper is more of a creative. So I think, and he's prone to tantrums. A Capricorn is not going to let you see those little baby fits like Harper has. Mm-hmm. I say Harper is a Libra.
Yeah, the Libra I dated must have been broken because everything matched except for caring about the outward appearances of things. Mm-hmm. He didn't.
Except for he was with you, so he clearly wanted some, like, you were his trophy piece. They pick partners that look good. Both my sisters married Libras. I'm
and
like,
look how fine your sisters are.
Look how fine my sisters are. And one of which we can't wait to see go. But yeah, and my bestie, like, who's beautiful, husband, Libra, like, there's this other guy that I'm thinking of, who's kind of in the circle. And way back in the day, he used to have get-togethers at his place. He had this real cool loft downtown. And I just remember I don't know why, like, you know how you're like used to it. So there were some outliers, some thotty type chicks that were at one of the get-togethers, and one of them spilled red wine on his light colored couch, and you could just see him, you know, like the temperature rising in him as he walked past the couch, and it was almost like he didn't even see it happen. It was like he walked past the couch and he looked over and he was just like you could see like he's like irritated, you know, and you know it's because like I have nice shit. Now,
Hmm.
most of us are going to feel that way, but you know, you like we react differently.
Right.
But it's like I have nice shit. You don't even belong here, and you just spilled red wine on my fucking couch. And he didn't, you know, he
Hmm.
didn't explode over it, but the scene he made in the cleanup was clear enough. You know, it was a clear message. But Harper is a Libra. Although I totally respect all of the reads that she gave to all of the characters.
Hmm.
Totally respect it. And very last thing, I also appreciate the storyline between Clinton and his father, because as uh women, people who are in that generation of dealing with older parents and their isms and their you know, mental health, that was a good and fair storyline.
Yes. Yes. And also how it, even though it was, Quentin's medical episodes were physical and his dad's was more mental, but it was a good juxtaposition of like Quentin as the son is looking at his father like, why aren't you taking care of yourself? Why aren't
Right,
you? And then
right.
Quentin as the person, as the husband now, is like not taking care of himself. I'm gonna do what I want to do because can't nobody tell me that I can't drink and I can't smoke and I can't do this and do that. So, and that is so prevalent in people, but
And I'll take it a step further. Dealing with the stress of that parent probably added to his, because they showed that, added to, you know, the weight, you know, the weight that he was carrying in his body. And I'm not saying his father caused his heart attack, but when you're dealing with that stuff, the stress is immense. And you do feel like they're going to kill me. This
yeah,
person is about to outlive me because they are going to kill me.
I every time I see that storyline, whether it's like in a movie or played out in somebody's real life, I think about my dad, who I think, I mean, his death certificate just had like complications of hypertension and diabetes,
Mm-hmm.
but it probably was a heart attack that was the event.
Yeah.
But um like I just remember him saying like, I'm not gonna eat the serving size of cashews. It's like 7 cashews. He was like, I'm gonna eat however many cashews I want.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and while I wish he had made better choices to be around a little longer, I also understand that
Yeah.
perspective. Like, yeah, I mean, if you look at serving sizes of things or what is considered moderation for alcohol or marijuana or whatever vice you have is like, it's tiny and it's not,
Yeah.
it
Don't
doesn't.
piss me off talking about, oh, I get full off of 6 almonds. Kiss my ass. You do not.
Right. No, you don't.
Unless you are 3 months old.
Yeah. So, like I get that. So like I related to that also with Quentin. Like, yeah, I don't want to sip a shot of Hennessy. Like, I wanted to have a drink, a full drink or three. So like, yeah, but
I mean, if we're feeling good, let's mix it up.
right. But yeah, so like I felt that too. So
Yeah. Overall, good job. Thanks for bringing it back.
Yeah.
It's nice, especially as 40 somethings, to, feel a little bit of our youth and to watch those people having full lives in their middle age. I like that too.
And they all looked really good.
They did. They did.
I am not the biggest Taye Diggs fan.
He's aging well.
But he's aging well. Yeah.
You can not be attractive to me and I can say you're aging well.
Yeah, for sure.
He's aging well.
Yeah.
I liked that the women were, sexy and classy and, didn't starve themselves to go on camera and looked amazing. It was a good representation of who we all are at this period in our lives.
Yep.
I do love that. If you stick around with us and join us next time, I think we will address some additional things that are going on in our world, and you can see exactly how much we don't know about life and the current events around us. Until then, thank you, and don't forget to like, subscribe, share, save, all that, replay, please. We really want to get this back up and running and be here with you, for us. We always have shit to talk about. Sometimes it is interesting, sometimes it's just fucking real, and it is always relatively unstable. So thank you.
Bye.
Bye.